Quilly, the perk songs. That's all Quilly rap about is taking perks. Perks this, perks that. Philly already a dangerous place, and you want everybody to be on perks. This is another place that I got to moderate the no-fly zone. Philly, dangerous and high. Oh no. Dribble can't be fucking around through these parts. He said Philly just dense. Philly niggas is radical. Anyway, when I say radical, I mean Black Panther radical. Like these niggas are naturally radical. For real. They the ones that be in the prison systems in PA, they the ones that get the jails locked down. Whenever a jail get locked down, or whenever a jail get locked down, or whenever it was like a riot type situation, Philly is involved. Straight up. He said, oh, violent Islam niggas. Yeah. Oh man. They set it off in Juma too. Philly set it off in Juma too. This is how radical they is. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Them niggas set it off in Juma too. Let me tell you about the war I was in the middle of. Internal Philly war that I had no idea what was going on. Because I'm cool with all parties. You know, we in Juma, and you know, I done did ids with these niggas. I done been in jail with these niggas years at a time. I don't know that within this Islamic community is a sect starting to rise called the Salafi. The Salafi is in the motherfucking, they starting to rise. These are some Sunni niggas, but they extra radical. Like they Sunni extremists, basically.
This year, Gully TV did a segment called Alpo Called Me. He said no interviews, and Jack never slapped him. In the segment, he had mentioned Albion and the rise of the Salafi. Can you tell me your history in it?
Of course. Jamel, that's my man. So we actually came across each other by way of, I don't know how we actually, I actually started to follow him. But what happened was, it popped up on my YouTube, his Gully TV channel. And the live came about after subscribing to his channel, where he started to mention being in jail, being a person who, you know, went from different jails within the state of PA. And me personally, I'm a person who, unfortunately, from the time of 18, I was on what we call a world tour. So I went to numerous Pennsylvania state penitentiaries, switching almost every 2 years. Within my time, I did an estimate of over 10 years in Pennsylvania, not including outside of Pennsylvania. So basically, I looked at his face and I said, this guy's familiar. I don't know where I know him from, but I know this guy. So he popped up on a live. I sent a couple texts at him, like, you know, what jail was you in? What, you know, where you do most of your time at? And I think I shot a couple of the jails I was at to him. And when I said Albion, it was like ding, ding, ding. So I realized, okay, well, I'm knowing from Albion. I sent him my number in his DM from Instagram. And it was the middle of the day. I'm in the Bronx, a little close to Soundview, you know what I'm saying, out that side of the Bronx. I'm at the gym working out, and I get a phone call, distant phone call. I pick it up, and he said, yo, you the brother who started the riots. And I'm like, who this? He like, this is Jamil, Gully TV. And I said, oh, okay, bet. So I said, yo, you was at Albion, right? He was like, yeah. He said, yo, I remember you. I remember when all this stuff took place. And mashallah, I was just like, you know, as soon as he mentioned the brother who started the riots, it's like, yeah, I know he was there. Because that was actually my first week in that jail. So the history that he mentioned on that segment, Alpo called me, he actually was mentioning my history. Now, just to be right and exact, you know what I'm saying, precise and thorough, he did make some mistakes in regards to the people and the timeline.
It may have been like 5 or 6, maybe like 7 of these Salafi niggas at the time. I played basketball with a few of them, and one of them, he taught me how to play chess, or we kind of like used to play chess against each other.
That history that he mentioned, I wanted to be precise, you know what I'm saying, completely thorough and right and exact when we mentioned this, because like at the end of the day, that's the history in which is all completely surrounding what in that particular era spread out throughout the entire prison system of Pennsylvania and beyond.
I'm on the motherfucking carpet. When you come in Juma and shit, you know what I mean, as you come through and shit, you know, everybody, you done already did your voodoo in your cell because you know, waiting for them to call it. When you get there and shit, you take your shoes off and everybody's lining up to get in the ranks on the rug and shit. So as we getting on the motherfucking rug and shit, I see them, the Sharif squad. That's the Sharif. The Sharif means guard. These are the Goonies in the Masjid. I see the Sharifs coming, and they telling this brother, yo, you got to get up off the rug. Now, I knew the cat. I can't remember his name. I think his name was Shah or something like that. You got to get up off the rug.
To pretty much break it down real quick, briefly, we was going into the year 2000, actually. I'm just coming up from Camp Hill. It's a whole bunch of us. Some of the names in which everybody from out of Philly remember. Jelani from out West Philly. Banks from North Philly. When I got up there, it was my young boy Taz that used to run ball from out of Uptown. South Philly Taz, he was up there. North Philly Taz from back Somerset, he was there. Disco, he was on the orientation block. We came up together. Blumberg, it was pretty much, this was a jail of, you might as well say 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds. And the thing is, that particular jail was majority Erie, Pittsburgh, all those little towns that's out on the west side of Pennsylvania. We was the first wave to come from Philly, because what they wanted to do was they wanted to change the power structure of the jails. They didn't want people from the east part of Pennsylvania being so close and getting things done while they were on the east, and they didn't want people from the west to do the same. So they started shipping people from Pittsburgh to Greatersford, and they started sending people that were supposed to go to Greatersford over to Albion. So I get over to Albion. This is sometime around February, March, somewhere along this time. If I check my DC 141s, I will be able to tell you the exact date, because the DC 141 is when I started getting my write-ups, and my first write-up was the inciting of a riot in that particular penitentiary. So, I get there, right? Straight from the rep, you know, we had Rock. Rock came up with me. Rock was one of the sons of one of our famous boxers in Philadelphia. You know what I'm saying? Salute to him. He was one of the first people who I had wanted to go into the cell and do a little dance with. You know what I'm saying? We wanted to switch cells real quick, because at the time they didn't know who was the people that was inside the jail. So they didn't know the people who were supposed to go into what cells, right? But it was all off of Jalan. Jalan was a vicious bid ball. He wanted to bid off of people and all that. And pretty much started some stuff between me and him. You know what I'm saying? But that's a whole separate situation of just being young balls bitten and just seeing where everybody was at. My first celly was Twin from out of 11th Street, you know what I'm saying, the projects. Then after that, it was Jalan, and that was another bid again. And the first week, right, we going through orientation. So orientation takes place on Friday. So we missed the first yard. We can't go to yard. Now, the way how things were set up was that I believe it was that I had to miss the first Jumu'ah because of orientation. By that time period, I got a chance to go through the yards, you know what I'm saying, on the J block, I block, H block, A, B, and C side of Albion Penitentiary, right? So it's broken down into halves. The other side is F, G, E, and I think it's an honor block over there somewhere. But the honor block is where most of the mafia balls and all that get a chance to hang out and chill and, you know, do that stuff that they show on the Wise Guys and Goodfella type shows and movies. But anyway, I come into the jail. This is the first week. Now, I'm already coming into the jail trying to fill out what's the temperature. First thing first, I need to know who's all the Salafiyun within that jail. Roll call, I need to know. Who's our mayor of the jail? Who's the person is it a structure set up? Do we have block walk kills set into place? Come to find out, it was one of my Akis from 66 that he was the most knowledgeable. He was the most knowledgeable. The reason why is because this brother was, I would say he had a photographic memory. You know what I'm saying? My man Sean Pettaway, a.k.a. Shizlo, my man Shahir, right? Now, he's doing his time, but another brother came from the streets and did some time there, but he got kicked out before I got there, named Askir. So Askir was the one who gave him minhaj, that gave him the methodology, that let him know this is the Salafi Da'wah. This is what we're supposed to be on. A lot of the other brothers that was up there actually got their knowledge starting from Shahir. But once I got there, I was the only brother that actually came from Germantown that was actually able to give the knowledge that I experienced and was a part of firsthand, which is when at that time period Germantown was considered quote unquote taken over by the Salafis and became as-Sunnah Nabawiyya, right? Now, that's the streets. Now, we come into jail with the same mentality, which is, if you're not upon this da'wah, you have to step down. Your position of being leadership within the community is null and void. I mean, this is how we considered it and how we looked at it at that particular time, moment in time. So, as soon as I get in, as soon as I come into this jail, I'm getting a roll call. First people who I recognize, Shahir, one. A brother that was on the other side that was holding it down for the other side, for the F block side, Maki Kareem, Little Latif. They was on the other side. Maki Qasim, he was on the other side. Then we had Tahlil, we had Shu'aib, we had Hassan, Basir, Aleen, we had Lil Mujahid, we had there's a whole bunch of brothers that I can mention over at least 27, 28 or 29 brothers that was Salafi in that jail at that moment in time, right? All of us was from Philly though. And the reason why is because, one, at that particular time period, the Huda newspapers, the Juma'ah newspapers and magazines, the introduction to the Salafi Da'wah was mostly coming from out of New York, coming from out of Newark, East Orange, and Philly. These were like the basis of where we were receiving our knowledge from, because this is where the students of knowledge returned back to the country and was given their da'wah to the masjids. So me being from Philly and being part of, that wave, it was like once I stepped into the jail and I had already established a jama'ah, a community before in the county that I was in. It was like all I could do was follow protocol. So we got everybody into line. The sheikh that we had at that time period, Vince Beckton, Salimun, all of these brothers were brothers who, majority of us was doing life, 20 years, 15 years, all crazy numbers. Now, again, most of us was young, so we were wild. Majority was from Philly, so, most of the things that we were involved in, it was about, we ain't had no problem with catching wreck or anything. We were wreck catchers. Now, being Muslim, every time we would come out, we would come out together. We would link up with each other. The geographic situation would be there because we know who we knew from the streets. The next Jumu'ah, I was allowed to go out into the yard. Right? Now this is why I mentioned all that, so we can understand the history and the power structure of what we was bringing to the jail at that time period. Right? The next Jumu'ah, or I should say before the next Jumu'ah, I was allowed to go into the yard. As soon as I go out into the yard, for the first yard out, one of the beefs that was going on was a situation between North Philly and South Philly, based off of an individual named Tupac who had got killed, and some of the people who was charged for his murder was sent up there. Now, some people was able to play these situations down low. You know what I'm saying? If they wanted to get back at them, or if they didn't want to, if they wanted to rock on them then or later. But as soon as I step in, it go down. North Philly versus South Philly. First yard out. So the temperature's set. If I already recognize, like, I'm standing on the basketball court and somebody pull their bang out, and I mean, at that time period, my situation wasn't the fiberglass joints that they had, but I had certain. But the person standing next to me took off running, and they got it in the middle of the field. But I ain't had nothing to do. That was their business at the time period, and it went down the way how it went down. Some people say it was based off of coming at each other in the kitchen, based off of the kitchen, and you know what I'm saying, that's how it really transpired. Allahu A'lam. All I know is, I already know I'm not slacking. I'm not gonna be in this jail the first weekend, and it's already saying this is where it go down at, and I'm gonna sit there and act like it's sweet in here. No. So the first Jumu'ah that I was allowed to go to, because after orientation set in, we can do whatever we want to do inside the jail. So I go to Jumu'ah, and part of the sunnah is that when you walk into a place, you give your taslim to the building. You give your taslim to the masjid. You give your taslim to the people. Those who enter, give the taslim to those who are there. The young give the taslim to those who are old. And I kept the sunnah. I did as I was raised to. I walked in, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, and walked in. And then I stepped to the side, and I didn't go to the carpet. I kept my boots on, because Part of the sunnah is also offering salat inside your, whether it be shoes, sandals, boots. That's sunnah. You don't have to take off your shoes. So straight from the rip, the so-called Sharif staff, right? These are the individuals who are security of the Masjid, of the Jama'ah. One of them, over here, brother from West Philly. Now, he was doing life and he'd been there for a long time. But because he was there for a long time, he didn't really know the sunnah. So he tried to pull me out of the masjid. He tapped me and asked me to come with him. So I'm like, all right. So I walk out with him and he tried to check me on, brother, you can't, man, he didn't say brother, but he said you can't send it, say salam alaikum all out loud like that. So, straight from the rip, I'm like, man, look, you don't know the sunnah. You definitely don't know where I come from when it comes down to the sunnah. So I hear you, but best believe that the sunnah is going to go forth. So you might as well say me being a 19-year-old with the mentality that I had at that time period, after him telling me that, and after him telling me that I can't be on the musalla with my shoes on, I walk in again. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah. I walk onto the musalla, and again, I respected the carpet, because the carpet is the carpet. Now, I'm not going to step on the carpet where people put their face on with what I was walking outdoors with, even though I'm able to according to the sunnah. But I understand why people have that type of thought pattern. So as long as I don't transgress that, I don't transgress the fahm, the understanding of what the Jama'ah is trying to do. So I walk in, I stay to the side again. Now he's flaming. And so I see him talking to the other Sharifs. And one of them was Jiz from back 24th Street, rahimahullah. Another one was, there was a couple people that was in there. And so, long story short, after the end of the khutbah and after the end of the salat, they try to rush me out of there. And by them trying to do that, automatically, like I said, when I first came into the jail, I already gained a rapport with everyone that was Salafis. Now, whether we had been 20 deep on one side and about 7 deep or 8 deep or 9 deep on the other side, those numbers waver because I still can't remember all the names of everyone who was on the F block side. But on our side, it was about 20. And until the time up to those first 7 days that I was there, everyone already recognized where I came from, what I was upon, and how firm I was upon this minhaj. Anything else that goes after that is based off of geographics, which again is a Philly thing. We come from where we come from, and people want to be like, that's my man's.
You got to get up off the rug. And he made a little bit of resistance, and I seen like it was like an explosion, kind of. Everybody produced their weapons all at once because this guy was sitting on the rug. He was a Salafi, and apparently he knew a lot of the deen. Whatever it was, whatever he was trying to pull, it wasn't in going in the same direction as this motherfucking Masjid. But anyway, weapons was produced right on the spot. And when I say weapons was produced, this is where the Philly politics come in. We was just Muslim. 5 minutes ago. We was just Muslim 5 minutes ago, right? Now, it ain't like that. South Philly is over there. That's my man. That's Milwaukee. Everybody is choosing. North Philly is starting to move. North Philly is so big that they start breaking down in the fractions. They was just together, all North Philly. Now, nah. We North Street. We Lehigh. We Allegheny. You know what I'm saying? And everybody got they drama, like it's blood. This shit about to go down, right? And I'm from Erie. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? I never went back to the Masjid, Jack. No, I never went back to, this is in Albion. After that, they had an Overthrow.
So, after it was all said and done, they tried to, we offered Salat, they tried to escort me off of the Masala rug from offering the Salat, or after offering the Salat. And they tried to, when I walked outside, they tried to act as though no one else could follow me outside. So straight from the rip, one of the first people that jumped up was my Aki Bear, Abdul Alim, Erie Avenue. You know what I'm saying? I think Shuaib from West Philly, 46. I think he also followed up. And at that time period, my name was Khalif, right? At that time period, the majority of people in that jail knew me as Khalif, Ka, or, you know, my name, Khalif Abdul Haq Ibn Rainey. That's my entire name. But each jail knew me by a particular kunya by itself. So some people may say Ibn Rainey, depending on where they was at with me. Some people may say Khalif, based off where they was at with me. Or some people say Haq, based off of where they was at with me. But there they knew me as Ka. So it wasn't, that was your mistake, Jamil, when you ended up saying it started with Shahir. It didn't start with Shahir yet. But the person they tried to get off of that carpet was me. And that actually added on to when, once I walked out that door and I was with the Sharifs, and then everyone else stood up inside that Musalla and was like, you know what I'm saying, what you're trying to do with my mans? That called for the security within Albion to be like, I don't know what's going on, but this one is inciting a riot. And so every single thing that happened after that, they was looking towards me first. Because that was my first week at Jumu'ah. That was like my second week in the jail. First week, somebody already got aired out. And so, my time at Albion, as we already know, you know what I'm saying, was in and out the whole, in and off of cell restriction, because I wasn't trying to hear nothing that nobody got authority over me. I got an authority complex. Nobody can tell me nothing. But because of that, I spent about 2 years at Albion until they finally got me out of there. But just to be right and exact, precise and thorough when it comes down to the history, Shah, that's my man. And after that, we tried to do our best to put someone into place that had the proper character, that had the good quality and conduct. I didn't consider myself as having that because I was on go at any given time. I was still young. Shah was a little older, and he was a lot more cooler, you know what I'm saying, tranquil, level-headed when it came down to me. When it came down to the circumstances.
After that, they had an Overthrow. They had an Overthrow. The Salafi niggas started getting big, right? The E-Man was from Pittsburgh. He had life. In any jail, mainly, the E-Man got life, the natural life, multiple life sentences. The E-Man he got the power of 1,000 men in the jail, right? The nigga was named, I used to play ball with him too. I want to say Abdul was his name, from Pittsburgh. As I was leaving, I was about to make parole and shit. I told some niggas, I said, yo, they gonna get him up out of that. I said, Philly gonna get him up out of that Masjid. Watch. I said, watch Philly get him up out that Masjid. Yes. You hear what he said? In the comments, they like, whoa, the E-Man was from Pittsburgh. Yeah. He had life. And he had came from the wall. He had came from Western. So he had significant amount. Daoud. That's his name. Daoud. That's his name. Daoud. That's his name. Yes. Thank you. Yeah, they overthrew him right after I left. Now, this Daoud is his name. This nigga Daoud, he was in the Camp Hill riot. The Camp Hill riot happened in Pennsylvania in 1989. It's niggas that survive that shit that you might run into in population. They done been in jail forever, but they got their ass beat by the police. So convicts look at these niggas and so to speak. So this is what this Pittsburgh guy got on his jacket that make him so important that he's an E-man. He got life, he know the dean, and he was in the Camp Hill riot. Boom. I told somebody, I said, yo, they gonna get him up out of that. I said, watch these Philly niggas. I knew who they was gonna replace him with too, because I played basketball with him. His name was Sabor, South Philly. I said, he's not. When the Philly war with the Salafi happened, the E-Man is from Pittsburgh. You no longer have no real control over this whole situation because you can't mediate nothing between Pittsburgh. So what's gonna happen is you're gonna get overthrown. Overthrew his motherfucking ass as soon as I left. Basically just took it from him and shit.
And after that, we tried to do our best to put someone into place that had the proper character, that had the good quality and conduct. At that time period, I had Salafi publications, Troy publications, all type of Dar Salam books being brought into the jail underneath, different people names. I had a very large library, even though they was talking about you could only have about 10 books. It was known my maktaba was very dense. So when they had to ship me out of every prison, somebody got a good present left behind with them. But with Shah, it's like anything that you fed him, he could be able to read it, memorize it, and quote it back. So what happened was, from that point on, anytime someone came into the jail and it was asked, who's the Amir, who's the Imam within that jail, I will point people towards Shah. And that's really how we took over Albion. It wasn't from the sword, it was from the word. And that's our minhaj. People recognize Shah as being the Imam of the jail. And that's my history. That was the reality in the history of how Albion became a Salafi jail. That was 2000, starting from February 2000, and we kicked out Wael, meaning we made him change position to a whole nother jail. That was the chaplain of that particular institution. He removed himself from being the chaplain at Albion and went to Pine Grove. That was 2001. Shortly after, that's when I was removed from the jail as well.
Philly is the heart of Islam in America.